Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mindy here. I hope you had a phenomenal week. Did you guys have a busy week? Did you have a fun week? Did anything exciting happen? Did you hear about the new Kayali launch of the fragrance called Utopia Coco Vanilla? Are you as excited about that one as I am? I can't imagine what's not to like, seeing that there's vanilla bourbon, that there's milky coconut, there's creamy sandalwood, there are white florals in it. I am super excited to see this fragrance. I actually have a lip product that came with my Musc 12 sample, and I gotta say this has a little bit of a tropical vibe to it to a degree. I always thought it would be amazing to have them come out with a gourmand type fragrance that wasn't only vanilla, or have a beachy type fragrance, so I can't wait to see what this is all about. So today I'm going to carry on with one of my very favorite fragrance videos, and that is the This Not That type fragrance video, where I go through a series of fragrances that are similar to one another, they're compared to one another, they have qualities that sort of align, but they're different fragrances, and I'm going to share the fragrance that wins this epic fragrance battle. So if that interests you, please stay tuned, please keep watching. I love doing these videos. I love watching them. They're super helpful when you're trying to decide between two different fragrances. So without further ado, let's get started. So in the theme of Kayali and the release that I'm excited for, I am going to compare Pure Musk by Narciso Rodriguez to Musc 12 by the Kayali brand. And these are two Musk fragrances that I find to be quite nice. So I'll give a disclaimer here that Musk fragrances aren't the typical fragrance that I like to reach for on a daily basis. I do enjoy them, but it's not my favorite scent profile, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. Definitely consider for yourself what type of scents you prefer. Okay, I'll start by saying Musc 12 by Kayali is kind of a soft scented musk. It is very pretty. The composition of the notes are alluring. I love freesia. There's lotus, musk, jasmine, vanilla, and sandalwood. And I do find the vanilla to be soft here, but it is recognizable and it does stand out. Now I do seem to prefer some of the composition here in the Kayali Musk a little bit more than the Narciso Rodriguez Pure Musk. Pure Musk to me is a little bit cleaner. It has sort of that freshness that a lot of people really appreciate in a musk fragrance, but for me I tend to gravitate a little bit more towards scents that have gourmand type qualities, and I do feel that the vanilla in Kayali Musc 12 reels me in a little bit more than what I feel from the Narciso Rodriguez Pure Musk fragrance. Now if you're looking for a fragrance that is beast mode or very strong, I don't know that either one of these will really fit that need. However, what I would say is that the Narciso Rodriguez Pure Musk fragrance does seem to stand out. It projects just a little bit more on my skin, and it seems to have a little bit more power, probably in terms of longevity as well. Though I didn't wear this for the entire day, I kind of compared them side by side in my comparison testing. But that being said, the winner of this epic fragrance battle is Kayali Musc 12. Again, I find this to be effortless. I find it to be very pretty. It's a lovely musk. They're both nice fragrances, and I think if you're the type of person that actually prefers a cleaner, fresher type musk, you might want to get your hands on this one, the Narciso Pure Musk. They're both beautiful. I see somebody who loves musk and fragrance really enjoying both of these, but the winner for today's battle will be Musc 12. Okay, the next two fragrances that I'm going to talk about share the same exact name. Now, the first is going to be Bee by Zoologist. I ordered a sample. And the second will be Bee by Ellis Brooklyn. Now, a couple things about these fragrances. They are both named Bee. They are both unique to anything else that I've ever smelled. And both of them have a very strong honey presence in them. But they are honey done differently, so I wanted to share my thoughts and opinions now that I've acclimated to both of these fragrances. The first thing that I noticed about Zoologist Bee is that this is a very recognizable, very true to reality honey type fragrance. Now we have a honey store not too far from us, and I think they actually have a honeycomb in there, and there is this very strong beeswax honey scent in there, and it reminds me very much of what I get here. There is a heavy note of beeswax, honey, and vanilla in this fragrance, and again, it is very unique to anything I've smelled before. Now it also has quite an animalic feel to it. It has quite a resinous feel to my nose, and it's a very powerful scent. I do really enjoy smelling this fragrance. It is unique, it draws you in, it makes you want to keep sniffing. But the one thing I'll say is I'm not sure I want to smell like this. I like to smell it, but I'm not sure it's what I want to smell like, if that makes sense. So Ellis Brooklyn Bee is one that I have kind of a smaller sample to. I don't know if I would get a full bottle to this fragrance either. It is unique as well. So in this fragrance, there's kind of this mixture of cinnamon, cacao, bran, there's rum. It's kind of like a boozy vanillic type fragrance, but ironically, I smell a little bit of what I feel to be bran. I can kind of pick out the rum and the booziness here, and I do find this also to be a fragrance that is quite addictive. It makes you curious, it brings you back for more. Really just an interesting overall fragrance profile. So while I find both Zoologist Bee and Ellis Brooklyn Bee to be nice fragrances, they rope you in, they bring you back, they make you want to sniff, they make you curious about what you're smelling, the one that wins this epic fragrance battle is Ellis Brooklyn Bee. Now, I find this to be a more well-rounded fragrance. There seems to be a whole lot more going on here with that bran, with that cocoa, with that rum, with the vanilla, than there is in Zoologist Bee. Now, don't get me wrong, I think a lot of people would enjoy this fragrance, but it's not one that I would find myself reaching for on a regular basis. I would really need to have an occasion to wear it, and it's a little bit more heavy than what I would want to smell. It is a deep, heavy gourmand for somebody who really loves the honey in their scents, and that's another thing for me. I'm not a huge honey fan. I tend to be a little bit finicky when it comes to that note, and while I like it here, I do prefer it in Ellis Brooklyn Bee, and this is the winner of this version of the epic fragrance battle. Okay, next up is Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian and Caramel Overdose by Belayered. And right now I am spraying them on my skin so I can just familiarize myself with the fragrance profile. I do only have samples for both of these, so I don't have a full bottle to really compare, and there's a reason for that. Now, I do find Love Don't Be Shy to be a warm, soft, alluring, pretty white floral. Now, while I don't pick up the marshmallow in here to the same degree I do in Kilian Princess, it is there, and I get a little bit of vanilla in there as well. I'm not sure that I would move forward with a full bottle of Kilian Love Don't Be Shy, simply because while I like it, I don't absolutely love it, and for that price point, I do feel like a fragrance has to be an absolute love for me. I noticed that a lot of people thought that Love Don't Be Shy has very strong projection, but for me, I find it to be a little bit soft. It seems to make sense that they came out with a Love Don't Be Shy or a Love Extreme version by Kilian, because for me, this just doesn't project as much as I like my fragrances to. Again, it is very nice. I find it to be a gorgeous white floral, but I have brought other white florals into my collection. For example, La Vie Belle La Clotte and Dolce Gabbana, The Only One Intense. That one's absolutely incredible, and it trumps a lot of the white florals that I've smelled to this point. So again, Love Don't Be Shy is beautiful, but I'm not sure about it yet. Now, moving on to Caramel Overdose by Belayered. I only have a sample of that fragrance. I received it when I ordered another Belayered fragrance, and I also really like Caramel Overdose. I find it to be a pretty scent, but I also find it to be less floral and less complex than Love Don't Be Shy. With Caramel Overdose, I do get a sweetness. I get kind of a vanilla presence, sort of like what is in Vanille West Indies. It smells slightly like that fragrance to me. And I also feel like there is a little bit of a synthetic vibe going on here. Now I'm thinking to Jessica Simpson Fancy, where there is a little bit of a caramel vibe in there that is synthetic. I like it in Fancy. Here, I'm not sure I enjoy it or appreciate it near as much. I do think Caramel Overdose is a good fragrance, and while it's not as close as some of my other clone houses to the original fragrance, I do think it is a nice dupe for Love Don't Be Shy if you're looking for something along those lines. If you're looking for the exact fragrance, I think you might be disappointed. At least that's what I pick up from my nose. I find them to be, I don't know, if I had to pick something, maybe 80% similar. Now, down to the winner between Kilian Love Don't Be Shy and Caramel Overdose by Be Layered. I do find the epic winner for this battle is Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. Again, I think it's a gorgeous fragrance. It is one that at some point in time I may consider bringing into my collection, but I do think I'd have to get it at a discount because that price is too steep for me to want to pay full price with all of the other fragrances that I want on my wants list, combined with a lot of the fragrances that I truly love in my collection. I really am trying to narrow down those fragrances that I bring in to be an absolute love. So the winner again is Kilian Love Don't Be Shy. Okay guys, the next battle is going to also be from Kilian. This is Kilian Angel Share and Dua Angelix Elixir. Now I did pick up this fragrance based on a recommendation of a subscriber. She said that the Dua version of this fragrance smelled very similar. I think she said the same as Angel Share by Kilian. And I wanted to pick up some other Dua fragrances recently, and so I thought, what the heck, let's give it a try. They had a 30% off discount, and I wanted to see if these fragrances came close to one another. So, with Angel's Share, I do only have a sample, and I find this to be a beautiful, boozy, warm, cozy scent. The notes in here are cognac, cinnamon, tonka bean, oak, praline, vanilla, sandalwood. It is warm, it is delicious, and I did feel compelled when I first explored this fragrance to look into getting a full bottle. Now, I will say this is the type of fragrance that I would probably prefer on those cooler days. I did wear it yesterday. I did my side-by-side comparison to compare these two, but I do think it probably wears a little bit better in those cooler months. I'm the type of person that I reach for what I crave in that moment, and so I am certain I will be craving this or the other one, depending on which is better, over the next couple weeks, the next couple months, despite the heat. But I do think it is a great cool weather fragrance. When I think about Kilian Angel Share, I think that people who enjoy those warm, delicious, kind of heavy gourmand type fragrances will enjoy this. And now I'm thinking about Lost Cherry, By the Fireplace, Angel Muse. This might be the type of fragrance that you would enjoy. Now moving on to Angelix Elixir. Again, this was recommended by a subscriber, and thanks again, Sarah, for bringing this one up to me. I had not been considering the Dua brand at that point in time, and to be honest with you, I'm really glad I bought this one. So, I believe in a side-by-side comparison, a blind one, not the one I did yesterday when I knew exactly what I was wearing, I do think that these would be almost identical. I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to pick up the difference between the two. Now when I wear them on my skin, the only thing that stands out to me is that the Dua version seems to have a little bit more oomph. It seems to have a little bit more power and projection. It seems to have a slightly more spicy presence. For me, I believe that's a cinnamon note that I'm picking up on just a little bit more than I do in the Angel Share version. And I actually think I prefer this one to Kilian Angel Share. So I'm really grateful that I picked this one up. So the winner of this epic fragrance throwdown is going to be Dua Angelix Elixir. While I do absolutely love Angel Share by Kilian, I think that this is an excellent fragrance, a perfect choice if you're looking for something along those lines at a lower price. Now, if you want the bottle for Angel's share, you're gonna have to buy the original. But for me, being the practical, cost-conscious person I am, I chose not to move forward with the full bottle. I'm okay having this in my collection. That is Angelix Elixir. Okay, last up for the day are two fragrances, both from the Miss Dior line. The first is going to be Miss Dior Le Parfum, and the fragrance that I'm going to compare it to is Absolutely Blooming, also from the Miss Dior line. So, the reason I picked up Le Parfum, there's a couple of reasons. First up, it seems to be incredibly loved and regarded on Fragrantica. I read tons and tons of reviews on this fragrance. I brought it into my collection probably around a year ago, and it was also compared quite a bit to the Chanel Coco line. So most people compare it directly to Coco, and I was thinking if it's anything like Coco or Coco Mademoiselle, I may like it. It is the type of fragrance that I find to be classy and elegant. It is an elevated type fragrance that you might wear for a special occasion. In this fragrance is mandarin orange, Turkish rose, Bulgarian rose, amber, patchouli, and vanilla. And I do find this to have a very strong amber presence, a very strong rose presence. So this one isn't gonna fall under those typical fragrances that I love where they're sweet, they're gourmandish. This one is actually classified as a chypre floral, so a little bit outside of my typical likes and preferences. With Absolutely Blooming, there's raspberry in here, there's blackcurrant, pomegranate, there's also rose in here, and white musk. Now this one, I find to be sweet. It's sort of soft, so I don't think you're gonna get a ton of projection out of this one, but it's very, very beautiful. This is the type of fragrance that I would recommend for somebody to feel very pretty on their special wedding day, or even just in the spring or the summer if you want something sort of light, sort of airy, but also sweet and just very, very pretty. I do think Absolutely Blooming would be an amazing fragrance to reach for. Now, both of these have some similarities. They have kind of that underlying DNA that you can kind of pick up in both. But to me, for the most part, they do smell like quite different fragrances. For me, Le Parfum moves a little too far into that non-gourmand, for lack of a better word, type fragrance realm. For me, I do actually prefer Miss Dior Eau de Parfum. But I got this just because I know that is so highly regarded by Miss Dior lovers. So for today's purposes, the winner of this epic throwdown between Miss Dior Le Parfum and Absolutely Blooming will be Absolutely Blooming. This is a fragrance that I have bought as a gift. I like it that much. Again, I do think it would be perfect for a special day for anyone. It's just a gorgeous fragrance. This one, like I said, is appropriate for a night out or a business setting, but for me, I don't reach for this one very much. In fact, I may have to consider decluttering it in the future, but both fragrances are lovely. This one wins. Absolutely Blooming by Dior. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed this, not that. Two epic fragrances going head to head with one another. And if you did, please go ahead and like the video and subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a fantastic weekend and you have a lot to be grateful and thankful for. Until next time, I'll see you soon.